Hello! We are excited to share information about the Neighborhood Conditions Index pilot program, an initiative by the City of Tulsa to help strengthen neighborhoods with the support of city departments. We will be covering the following information: pilot introduction, what is NCI, invitation process, application process, expectations and roles, and questions and contact. Let's talk about the program. In February, Mayor Nichols issued an executive order establishing the NCI pilot program, a one-year program that will assist up to 3 neighborhood areas. Through a series of community workshops, neighborhood residents, city departments, and other partners will identify priorities and take action to improve neighborhood conditions. The program is intended to improve infrastructure, facilitate neighborhood revitalization, and elevate safety by directing specific City of Tulsa teams to allocate time and resources to the selected neighborhoods. Groups from the City of Tulsa participating in the program include Tulsa Planning Office, Tulsa Police Department, Code Enforcement, Public Works, and Animal Services. Here are some examples of potential actions and priorities that neighborhoods can receive assistance with from the city's task force. That support could include addressing loose animals, code violations, crime, and more. Through this program, participants will also be equipped with the data, skills, and know-how they need to take their neighborhood's transformation into their own hands. Data from the Neighborhood Conditions Index, or NCI, will be used to better understand neighborhood needs and align city services. So, what is the Neighborhood Conditions Index? Every Tulsan should love their neighborhood. Many want to make improvements, but may not necessarily know where to start. The Neighborhood Conditions Index, or NCI for short, is a tool that can help Tulsans quickly and easily understand areas where their neighborhoods are excelling and where there are opportunities to improve. Similar to a health assessment, NCI reports a standard set of data for every neighborhood. This data is then categorized by the 9 chapters of Planet Tulsa, the city's comprehensive plan. What is an NCI report? On the first page, the overview section includes a brief description of the neighborhood statistical area, or NSA for short, highlighting key landmarks or destinations. An NSA is a grouping of census tracts that contain multiple neighborhoods, so the boundaries may be different than an individual neighborhood group. There are 80 NSAs across the city. There is an orientation map that highlights the NSA's location within Tulsa city limits, and a zoomed-in map of the NSA. The next section shows the area's overall score, and top 3 and bottom 3 category scores. The overall score is calculated by comparing this NSA to all the other NSAs in the city, along with considerations for vulnerable populations. This section also includes the area's priority group, which is based on the overall score. Priority Group 1 is the highest priority group and includes neighborhoods that scored in the bottom 25%. Priority Group 2 includes neighborhoods that scored in the middle 50%, and the highest scoring neighborhoods are in the Priority Group 3. Page 2 and 3 examine the area in detail. These are category scores based on the 9 chapters of Planet Tulsa, the city's comprehensive plan. Below each category is a list of data points that were evaluated to arrive at the category score. The area scores for each data point can be seen here. The data points are weighted to reflect their importance, so their category score is not merely an average of data point scores. Each data point is scored on a scale from 0 to 5. These scores compare the individual NSA to all 80 NSAs in the city. Green represents the highest 25% of NSA scores. Gray represents the middle 50% of scores, and red represents the lowest 25% of NSA scores. The area snapshot can be found on page 4. It includes an overview of households and their demographics, businesses, employment, and services in the area. On pages 5 through 7, there is a glossary explaining how data points in each category were evaluated. On the back page, there is a large map of all NSAs in the City of Tulsa, with this specific area highlighted. And below the map is a list of NSAs along with their city council districts. Find your own neighborhood's NCI report at tulsaplanning.org/NCI. Now let's discuss the process by which neighborhoods are invited to apply for the NCI pilot program. We chose to limit the invitation to neighborhoods in priority groups 1 and 2, which are the lowest 75% of NSA scores. Then we looked for NSAs within those priority groups that have neighborhood groups such as neighborhood associations, homeowner associations, block groups, and tenant associations. We then identified neighborhood groups that had been actively engaged with the city within the past 12 months. Any interactions counted toward the criteria. For example, updating neighborhood information, attending the neighborhood leaders luncheon, requesting dumpsters for cleanup days, and registering a block party all count. Now let's review the application process for neighborhoods that have been selected to apply to the NCI pilot program. The application period opens with an information session on Monday, March 24th. An email invitation will also be sent with a link to the application. Applications are due on Tuesday, April the 15th at 5 o'clock p.m. And we will announce which neighborhoods have been selected on Friday, May the 2nd. Let's take a moment to look at the different parts of the application form. Selection 1 asks for general contact information. From this link, an applicant can update their neighborhood registration with the city. In Section 2, there are several questions that will help us understand each neighborhood better. Participation in the NCI pilot program will require multiple engagements with the city, which we will explain in more detail shortly. In Section 3, we ask general questions about your neighborhood's priorities. For example, if a neighborhood wants to improve walkability, then access to sidewalks, streetlight repairs, or safe crossings may be a priority. Other neighborhoods may want to address code violations, while other neighborhoods might be interested in addressing loose animals. In Section 4, we want to know if you partner with or have contact with other groups in your neighborhood statistical area, or NSA. NSAs do not necessarily line up with each neighborhood group, and if your neighborhood is selected, you will need to coordinate with other registered groups in your NSA. Let's take a moment to talk about how you can find that information. You can access the neighborhood viewer from the link in the application. Once there, use the magnifying glass to search by address. That will take you to the address on the map. Next, we will open the layer list, which is the button next to the magnifying glass at the top right corner of the screen. And then check the box next to neighborhood statistical area. After doing that, the map will go from something like this, which shows only the boundaries of the neighborhood groups, to this, which shows the boundaries of the neighborhood statistical areas in a black line. Click on each neighborhood within the NSA, which are the colored shapes, to view contact information for those neighborhood groups. Sometimes, neighborhood groups overlap. You can change between them by clicking on this arrow in the top right corner of the pop-up window. Now, you may be wondering what is expected of program participants. The planning office will act as the coordinator and liaison between the selected neighborhoods and the City of Tulsa. Each neighborhood will select a representative and 3 members to lead steering committees. The planning office will also act as a coordinator for city participants in the program, including animal services, code enforcement, public works, and the Tulsa Police Department. Representatives of each department or division listed here will take part in the task force for the NCI pilot program. The planning office will work with the selected neighborhoods to help prioritize their goals and draft and refine an action plan for each of them. At each of the stages, we will work with the task force to learn how best to serve the neighborhoods. The neighborhoods will be active participants in events and projects, and some sessions will be workshops facilitated by the planning office, while other events will be led by the neighborhood's own steering committees to do things like walk audits or make direct observations. When the plans have been finalized, one representative from each of the selected neighborhoods will be asked to join task force meetings to coordinate their implementation. This is the expected timeline for the whole program, with up to 3 neighborhoods being selected in May. Workshops taking place from June to August, and implementation reporting taking place from September to March of next year, when the planning office will submit a final report. Finally, let's talk about how to get in touch if you have any questions about the NCI pilot program. If you have questions, please contact John Hetherington, the city's Neighborhood Programs Coordinator, by email at nci@cityoftulsa.org or by calling 918-596-7663. To review information about the NCI pilot program or download your neighborhood's report, visit tulsaplanning.org/NCI. Thank you. We're looking forward to working with your neighborhood.